Fact 1. Created by the hands of a single person, Minecraft has become the most popular computer game in history. Only about 180 million copies were officially sold, and this despite the fact that the vast majority of gamers prefer to download the game from torrent trackers and not pay a dime. In addition, Minecraft was quite officially free for a long time, until its author decided that he had a real gold mine in his hands. Now only the classic version of the game is free, devoid of more modern modifications. Fact 2. Inside Minecraft, you can implement entire computer programs, or, for example, build a really working computer processor. Individual craftsmen even wrote programs from redstone blocks in languages, such as Lua. Everything here is limited only by the imagination and knowledge of the gamer. Fact 3. In older versions of Minecraft, up to 1.8, at a distance of 12 million blocks from the player's point of appearance, there were the so-called farlands, in which the laws of in-game physics began to fail due to logical errors. A hike to the farlands on foot would require about 1 month of real time, and one player, his YouTube channel, Kirchnick, decided to get there with his feet, simultaneously filming his hike on video. In 3 years, he passed a little less than 1.5 million blocks, but soon the border of the farlands was pushed even further, at a distance of 30 million blocks, and then an invisible barrier that could not be overcome was simply installed at this point. Fact 4. Minecraft has become the most expensive indie project in the history of the gaming industry. Created by Markus Persson himself and subsequently published by the small company he founded, it was eventually sold to Microsoft for an impressive $2.5 billion. Fact 5. Invisible blocks of bedrock, which cannot be broken, among Minecraft fans are called adminium. They called it so because the administrators of many servers began to build prisons from it, where the guilty players were placed. It was impossible to get out of such a prison on your own, and you had to create another character, starting all over again. Fact 6. Over the years, Minecraft has acquired a huge number of mods. This is partly due to its simplicity, and partly because it is easily decompiled by special programs, presenting itself to curious programmers in the form of thousands of lines of code. And an experienced programmer will always find a way to make their own changes. Fact 7. Due to the peculiarities of the game mechanics, liquids in early versions of Minecraft behave strangely. As a result, 2 buckets of water poured into the free space will expand almost indefinitely as long as there is space. However, this feature has long been fixed in more recent versions of the game. Fact 8. One of the Minecraft worlds was originally supposed to be called Hell, that is, simply Hell. But Persson decided that such a name might cause the wrong associations in some players, and in order not to offend anyone's feelings, even by accident, called it simply Nether. Fact 9. In 2016, a special edition of Minecraft Education Edition was released, designed for educational institutions. It is actually used to teach students a variety of things, from traditional academic disciplines to visual arts and poetry. Fact 10. Daniel Rosenfeld, the creator of the soundtrack for Minecraft, worked on the music completely freely. When Markus Persson asked him to do the soundtrack, it was agreed that Rosenfeld would work on his own, without any specific assignment. As a result, he created the soundtrack under his own impression of Minecraft, and showed Persson the finished result. I hope this video was interesting for you and you learned something new about this game. I would be grateful for your activity in the form of comments, likes or subscriptions. Good luck and goodbye.